Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, this is Allie and Find Your Joy. And I am pretty darn excited because today will be the day before my very first children's book comes out. And I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. And today I'm going to talk about what inspired it, how I did it, the steps I took to make it happen, why I made it happen, what I'm excited about. And there's going to be a whole bunch of things I talk about behind the scenes a little bit. I think, anyways, we'll see, because I'm kind of just doing this off the cuff. Oh, how unlike me. So, anyways, buckle up, baby, and welcome to another fine episode of Find Your Joy. So, let me start by this. So, my first book of a collection of kids' books is called Look Around and Ground with Ginger and the Fun Bunch. Now, Ginger and the Fun Bunch are Haywood, Katie Cakes, Davy, and Ginger. And there's a little dog, and the dog's name is Tilly, and there's Nana G. But the main characters are the four kids. And where did that come from? Well, let me tell you. There's we have four pals, and we call them Fantastic Four, and that's myself and my husband Dave and our two friends. Will I name their names? Let me think on that. I'm not sure. Maybe by the end of it, I might. I haven't decided yet because maybe they want some anonymity. All I'm going to say is that it's four friends that get together for dinners, and sometimes there would be wine involved, always really good food, lots of laughter and conversations. So I had been working for many years on children's stories and children's books and telling our kids and our grandkids, mostly when our grandkids came. I'm going to say that. Mostly when the grandkids came around, there would be lots of telling stories. And so these are different stories actually than the ones that are going to be in the books, but there are some similar storylines. There are threads that connect. So where I've got it bumping around here. So I'm going to say that the four friends, we would joke and say, "Oh my gosh, what would we be like when we were little kids? Like, how would that even look?" And so that's the characters. And some of our names have changed a little bit. I, of course, was Ginger because, well, I used to have red hair. I don't know what it is now. As I age, it changes, but that's okay. So, Dave stayed the same. Anyway, so we had these four friends, and then we hung around and we used to joke about what would we even be like if we were, little kids together. And so that's where those four characters came. There was always going to be a dog. There would always be a dog, because in my life, there is always a dog. And I don't know. So that's where the characters came from, and they just kept building from there. The stories themselves and why it is called the Don't Be Scared, Be Prepared series is with my grandkids. If they were ever concerned about something, I would tell them you don't need to be scared. You don't need to be afraid of anything. You just need to be prepared. Whatever that might be, just be prepared for it and you'll be okay. You can face almost anything if you can prepare yourself. So that's how those two things came to be. The first book is Look Around and Ground with Ginger and the Fun Bunch, and really what it's about is Ginger is a little girl that deals with anxiety, and how she learns to do grounding and breath work. And this is, I mean, I have had people who are, doctors of psychology, to you name it, a wide range of people read these books. Teachers, kindergarten teachers, psychologists, someone I love very much who is an adult person living with cognitive challenges and disabilities, whatever. I've had people from all backgrounds, um, read the book and tell me, what do you think? Like, does it make sense? Is it gonna be helpful? And they've said, yeah, not just for kids, actually. Adults that read it are gonna get something out of it. And why is that? Is because it's geared towards a child who is struggling with anxiety, and just learning how to center and ground and do some breath work and think about something else and get your focus to something that is in the room here, real and tangible, because anxiety has a way of taking us off to a different place. I always say if you've ever really dealt with anxiety, like panic attacks as they call them, panic or anxiety attack seems like a very pale way to describe the terror that can ensue if you are a person who, like me, spent a lot of my life with actual full-blown anxiety where it was debilitating. I spent so much time that I couldn't even leave my house. I was terrified. It was horrific. It was hard for me and anyone around me, I'm sure. And and that's the reality. That's the reality of how my life was for a long time. It's not anymore. Yay! That's really good news. But since I was a little kid, yeah, I had horrible, horrendous anxiety. And I needed to learn a way to, first of all, be prepared for whatever it was that I was struggling with. And that unhooked it for me. But those are with issues. When I say that, that's when there's something that's actually I'm having to face that I'm afraid of. Anxiety for me was more about all the if onlys, I'd done something different, and the what ifs, something does happen. And this collection of books is very much about helping a person, specifically a small child, to learn how to be in the moment. Because in the moment, there is seldom actual anxiety. There might be a conflict, there might be a situation that needs to be addressed in the moment. That's so different than anxiety. Anxiety, being filled with terror over something that isn't happening, is not, yeah, it's not pleasant. And here's the deal: when someone says, "Oh yeah, I was afraid before because," and then fill in the blank of something that they were facing. Anxiety isn't something I'm actually facing. And these terror attacks that would come up would happen. It was about the things that I would be imagining were going to happen, or feeling horrible about something that had already happened, and I imagined it usually much bigger than it was. Oh, if only I'd done this, if only I'd done that. Oh, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I didn't do that. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what if the list is so long. And so what I had to learn over, many years, counselors, learning how to just really come back and be in my body and be in this time, not in all the imagined times, but in this time, in this moment, and learn to really live in this moment. That's for me how I learned to stop it. And how I still do. If it wants to come knocking at my door, I still find my way back to just very simple things, taking nice, slow breaths, looking around a room, finding 5 things. What's really in this room? My computer, my phone, the window, the door, a table. Look at that stuff. What's concrete? What's real? What's now? What's happening? Sounds so simple and it sounds almost odd, but it really works. So, Little Ginger, the main character in this story, is a person who struggles with anxiety. And they've been taught some grounding and some breath work, and her friends help her to do that. And she very quickly moves from a very anxious moment to celebrating with her friends. And I have found that that's much like how anxiety is, because anxiety is, oh my God, what if I have cancer? That would be so horrible. And then all of these things that would happen because of it. So that's where we are, right? That's anxiety. Oh my gosh, what if? And then off we go. Why it's really simple and quite quickly resolved is that those horrendous things aren't really happening. So once we get centered, grounded, remember where we are, it's gone. It's gone again. So the book is very much like that. It helps kids to do that. And as I said, some people that I had read it said, this is going to be really good for adults too. There could be an adult who deals with this same, suffers with anxiety. I'll use that. I won't beat around the bush about that. Suffers with anxiety and maybe doesn't have the skill set yet. And maybe they'll learn it while they're reading it to their child. And wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh my gosh, that's the dream, right? Why does anybody do anything? Why do I write songs? Why do I write poems? Why do I write stories? Why do I do anything? Well, for a few reasons. One is that it saves me and pulls me out of wherever I am. And I share it because my hope is that even one person would be changed. Even one person would be helped with it. So that's what that's about. So let me tell you a little bit about the journey of it. I've been writing the stories for a really long time. And when I started to get really ready to go, okay, now I'm going to make this a book. What am I going to even do about that? Like, so I started to Google like stuff about children's books. And then there was a few courses online that were even free about writing children's books. So I took those courses. My book started, okay, so my book is about, I don't know. I don't even know. Should I know? I don't know. It's probably about 700 words. And it started at about 3,000 or 4,000 words, non-rhyming. Then I took a course on it and it said decide whether you want to do rhyming or not rhyming. I did some research. I did some polls. This has taken me a couple of years to get here, right? I did a few things like that and I got people's feedback because for me, I naturally think in rhymes. It's very easy for me to do anything in rhymes. Okay, short little what a short little diversion here. Squirrel. We went to our friends Dom and Joey. We went to a dinner party at their place once, and it was put on by a person who was selling this wonderful cookware, which we bought, and it's quite lovely. Lifetime, I think it is. Really great stuff. And anyways, but the person, we all got assigned to do a certain task. I didn't even remember this, honestly. It's so funny. I didn't remember this till we went for dinner at Tom and Joy's about 6 months ago. She was like, don't you remember? I'm like, no. She said, well, everybody got assigned a certain task and yours was to rhyme all night. And she said, I never saw anything like it. You just rhymed everything you said. Any question anyone asked you, any comments you made, you just rhymed flawlessly through the whole thing. I said, I know I probably should have been a jingle writer or something. It comes so naturally to me. I have to think not to. So I was trying to not write a rhyming story. Then I was like, oh, wait, this is a total option. You can rhyme because I had read somewhere that it's better to not do a rhyming kids book. I was like, oh, now I'm screwed because I'm a bit of a rhymer. Okay, well, so I won't rhyme. And so I did it all non-rhyming. Then I took this course and was like, no, you can totally rhyme. The story just has to make sense. You can't just rhyme if it doesn't work. If your story doesn't have a good plot, a beginning, a middle, there's a conclusion to it. It has to have all that still. And if some people who do rhyming, they don't do that. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I'm pretty sure because I'm a rhymer. It's just how my brain works. So I'm like, okay. So then, the other part of it was figure out exactly what age group you want. So I chose the 4 to 7-year-old focus, because I thought, man, if we could catch it that early, if we could catch a little person's heart and their imagination and their attention, and they could sort out how to really get on top of this whole anxiety thing. Well, wouldn't that be just so fabulous? So I decided that was going to be the age group. And then I looked through everything that I'd seen and I did this survey and all that stuff. People are like, no, 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 it's rhyming's great. It's just you have to stay with rhyming once you start. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's simple enough. And so I decided to do 4 to 7 and rhyming. Then the next thing I had to decide was how many words. I knew that 3 to 4,000 was way too many. They said try to have it well under 2,000. So I did that. I redid my whole thing. I rewrote the story, crushed it all down to 2,000 words and then took another course on it and it said no, 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 it needs to be below 1,000 if you're talking 1,000 words if you're talking for a 4 to 7 year old, and closer to 500 words is even better. So now I took a story that was not rhyming from 4,000 words, compact it down to 500 to 1,000 words, make it make sense and make it rhyming. And the reason that it was good for rhyming is the cadence in a rhyme is makes it easier for a younger child to learn it and to remember it. And if they could remember it and they could recite it back, if they could recite it back to mom or dad or auntie or nana or papa or the teacher or whoever they were doing it with, if they could get that rhythm and they could understand it and learn the words, it could get in their heart. And that could mean that if they were at school or they were outside playing with friends or they were in bed at night or wherever they were, if they could call those words to their memory, they'd have a chance of handling it by themselves. They didn't have to be little and afraid. They could figure out, okay, this is how this works. And I can do this. So that's why I did it rhyming. That's why I did it for the age group that I did it to with or for, created it for. Um, yeah, those were all the choices that I make. I'm going to tell you that I spent some time. So our daughter Jess, she's amazing. She's 47. She lives with some cognitive challenges and is on the autism spectrum. And when I had it done and I sent it through to a whole bunch of people and I was pretty much ready, I thought I'm going to get Jess to look at this because she's really good at figuring out things. So she was so generous with her time and she said, yeah, for sure, I'll read it, Mom. So she read it and she said, whoa, I don't like this word in here. There was a place that there was a when I had used a word about being really excited, I'd said a word like exploded. She got so excited she could almost explode. And she said, that just sounds like kind of scary, actually, exploding. I was like, oh, there was like a whole bunch of things. And there was a few things that were generational, like words that I would have, and I can't remember them off the top of my head, but somebody in my generation would use it to mean a certain thing. But now it made something different, or to her ear and to how she was seeing it, it didn't really feel right. So Jesse and I did that. We went through the book a couple more times, and at the end of it she read it and she said, yes, I love it, Mom, it makes really good sense and it would help me too if I was reading about, if I was feeling anxious, I could read it. And she said, Mom, um, that you just have to remember that even though I'm an adult, it's kind of like I'm not in a way. So I think I understand better, stuff that works for kids than a lot of adults would, because in a way, I'm kind of like a kid myself in a lot of ways. So I was like, that's pretty self-aware, isn't it? So she really helped me with that. So then I'd had that incredible feedback and feedback of some teachers and counselors and just and other kids. And so I felt like it was really ready. I originally had someone that was going to do the illustrations that couldn't. I was very saddened by that, and it took me a little while to shake it off. And hopefully that person will be able, because they're related to me, and I love that person very much, will be able to at some point join me. Not sure if it will work because it's a big commitment to do the illustrations. But what she had done is she had already created the characters, and she allowed me, out of the very generous, it's very generous of her to share that with illustrators. So the the characters are very much how we had originally seen them and envisioned them together, Carly and I. So so that was really great. Now here comes the next part. There's a whole bunch of things that I think will be a completely different episode, but I will do the little teaser is this. My little teaser is I now have a publishing company, which I guess I had one before. Anita, who is Anita Voth, who is the operations manager for Alleyway Art, all the things that I do, my podcast, my website, my sound business, my doing retreats, all of that stuff. Like I need an operations manager because I do, and she's awesome. But she had reminded me that with my first book, The Art of Healing Trauma, that I had actually got a whole bunch of ISBN numbers, which are the numbers that are on the back of the book. And my old publisher, Julie from Influence, had actually made sure she wanted all of her authors to have independence and have control of their work. So she creates your own publishing company through it. So although I'd worked with Tellwell and that was all fine and good, I have my own publishing company. So why it's taken so long is that Anita was good, man. She said to me, no, we're going to make sure you have your own ISBN numbers, and we're going to make sure that it is your publishing company that puts this out. And it took an extra like 6 months, and I was such a baby about it. I'm like, oh, you think we could just do it the other way now? She's like, you can, but if you're going to do books going forward, why would you not have it in your own book publishing company? So she was right, by the way. Yay, Anita. And that's what we did. So going forward, I'm looking forward to me even possibly helping other people put books out, because it's exciting and it's wonderful. And if I can find a way that can streamline it and to make it more affordable for people, that would be my heart. Because as my very, very dear friend Liz once told me, Lizzie, who has now passed, but she said to me, she had written books. She had written many cookbooks and things like that, and was an accomplished author and food critic. And she said to me, Allie, you should write your book, because everybody should write at least one book. And I think everybody should write at least one book, whether that's a children's book, a fiction book, a story about your own life. I don't care. Most of us have a book in us. And if you do, I'm encouraging you. And hey, reach out to me, because I think I can help you. So I think that's about it about oh my gosh. And okay, so here's the thing. This Thursday, tomorrow, January 12th, between 8 in the morning and noon Pacific time is when to buy the book, or where I'm doing the push. Help me, please help me become a bestseller on Amazon. Oh, I should just get those words out. If you would like to be part of it, get a hold of me through Facebook or email me at alleywayart@gmail.com, or Alleyway Art Facebook. That's how you can find me, ALIWAYART. And I'll get you a Zoom link, because between 9 and 10 in the morning on Thursday, there's going to be a Zoom call. And we're going to celebrate. There'll be prizes. We'll be keeping track and see if I've been able to get to bestseller at all. Any person who purchases this new book on Amazon between 8 and noon on June 12th is going to receive a free gift from me, which will be a digital copy of my book, The Art of Healing Trauma. So right there, that book's like $30. So you get that for free. So that's really exciting because I want to say thank you, and I want to, how it works with Amazon, there's a algorithm thing that, and how it works is this. It goes by how many people purchase within a small window of time, and that's how you have your best chance at becoming a bestseller on Amazon. Here's why that matters. I've got 3 other books already written coming behind this one, and as many people as I can get to know about this collection of books to help kids with anxiety and positive thinking and grounding and breath work. And it's all done in a super fun way. Like the first one, we've got look around and ground. We've got imagination boots, happiness garden, stomping that bug out. We've got all these fun books that are coming that teach kids all kinds of great things about just really loving life and looking at life through positive eyes and using positive words and positive thinking and really avoiding getting caught up in anxiety and all the things, learning ways to actually have some control over our own lives. So, and the way that our minds work. So anyways, that's the purpose of that. It won't be a difference of how many people buy the book, maybe, but during that time, it's really helpful for me. I don't know if I've made any sense. I hope I have. I just know I'm super excited. I'm really proud. I'm really excited, and I'm happy that I did it, and it feels so wonderful. It's a time when, you know what, there's so much uncertainty in the world. There's a lot that adults are afraid of, and kids are, they're absorbing all that energy of eek, everybody's freaking out a bit. COVID was hard, and the watching the news is hard, and it can be a really challenging time. And if there's anything that I can do that will make it easier for a wee one, I'm a nana. I'm a mom. I was a kid. It can be hard, and let's find ways to make it a really beautiful experience so that those little guys can grow up and be positive, wonderful, calm, loving life, loving every moment, adventurous, curious. That's what we want, right? We want to be adventurous, curious people. And that's really hard to do when we're afraid. So it's Allie, and it is find your joy. Come on out tomorrow and hang out with me. I would love that. We could talk live. We could talk live on a Zoom call. Take good care. I hope I see you there. And do remember, like and subscribe. Take good care. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.